Not sure how to set boundaries in relationships that aren't aggressive? No worries. By the end of this video, you're going to know my top 4 boundary rules that will help you succeed with love. Before we dive in, let me ask you, are you committed to doing the inner work to live your best life all fueled by joy? I thought so. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little beautiful bell to be notified when our next video drops each Tuesday and Thursday. Boundaries are an essential component to having and sustaining healthy relationships, and it's also something we neglect. This is why I'm so passionate about teaching people like you my 4 boundary rules so that you can redefine your relationships. Just the other day, we had an email from one of our viewers who implemented the 4 rules that I'm about to teach you in her friendships to stop feeling like a doormat and start feeling more respected in her friendships. And you never guess what? Her friends, because she followed the rules, were very excited to support and even apologetic for how she was feeling before. So these work. We often say the work works. So grab your piece of paper and pen and let's do the work. Boundary rule number 1, get clear. You need to have clarity as far as what the result and the outcome you want to have with the boundary. So that means clear with what is really bothering you and what really needs to be shifted and changed. A lot of times we have unspoken expectations in our relationships for other people to have the same values and command the same respect that you actually desire. But it's not that way. You might value being able to curse in conversations, whereas I might find cursing a little bit repulsive. Well, that doesn't mean I'm right and you're wrong. It doesn't mean you're right and I'm wrong. It just means that we're different. So having clarity on what exactly it is that you want in that friendship and how you want to evolve it is an essential component to having and sustaining healthy boundaries. So that's rule number 1, which leads me directly into rule number 2. Rule number 2 is that you need to be kind. This piggybacks on the first one. Have clarity on what you want, and then we want to give the other person the benefit of doubt. With kindness, the reality is they might not even know that they're treading on your lawn. They might not even know that how they're behaving is offensive to you because it's not offensive to them. Again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's just about being respected. And for you, what your needs and wants are unique to you. And so we want to give the other person the benefit of the doubt. That's saying that their behavior, them being late, them not, honoring or knowing how to serve you isn't malicious, rather just not valued in their world. So number 1, we need to be clear. Number 2, we need to be kind and respectful when we are asserting our boundaries. Tell me what you think. Put a big O yes below in the comment box if you know just these first 2 rules can drastically help change the communication of your relationship. Rule number 3, only assert boundaries when you're feeling unemotional. When we try to assert boundaries when we're upset, when we're frustrated or angry, all it's going to do is lead to confrontation or for the other person to be combative. We absolutely want to make sure to assert boundaries after you've processed your emotion and you're no longer feeling triggered by it. This may require you to take a little bit of time to journal out your thoughts or to process your thoughts with a therapist, counselor, or coach so that you have a clear mind to be able to assert your boundaries for future change in behavior. With the unemotional, you want to be able to be focused on the future relationship, not on how things have been in the past and dragging the emotional baggage from before. All right, number 4, the final rule for boundaries is that boundaries need to be a request, not a command. This is a little bit different because many times when we assert boundaries, we're at our limit. We've had enough. We're done. We're over it. And as a result, it becomes a commanding statement. Stop that. Don't do this. Back off. I can't take this anymore. You need to go away, right? That is going to lead to even more conflict and more confrontation. That's asserting a boundary when you're emotional and aggressive. Instead, what you really want to focus on is how you can assert this boundary as a request. It's a question to get them invested into the boundary with you. Example of that would be, would you be willing to honor me here? Is that something you think you could do for me? How would you suggest that we can change this dynamic? Questions like that are invitations versus command. And when someone else is invited in to make that request or to honor your request, then they too are going to be emotionally invested into it. Now, if you're wondering, what do I do after, if the person doesn't honor the boundaries after the conversation? Check out this video. If you're dealing with a difficult or narcissistic person, check out this video as well. All right, so now that you know the 4 basic rules around asserting boundaries, I strongly suggest that you practice them before you ever go out and use them first. To help you do that, I've created a 2-page downloadable practice worksheet for you to work through your boundaries before asserting them. This also will include my 3-strike policy for those difficult people in your life. You can snag a free copy below by just clicking the first link in the description. Also, if you're ready to join a community filled with women who are obsessed with personal development, learning, laughing, and growing, and living their best lives, all fueled by joy, then you absolutely want to join us over in our secret Rebels for Joy Facebook community. There, you're going to join me and hundreds of other women just like you who are committed to living their best life. Check it out now. Wanting to explore boundaries in more depth? Then make sure to check out these videos along with our video playlist on our homepage. You can find dozens of videos all about boundaries, including a 60-minute video to teach you just how to use this. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and make sure to hit that bell so you'd never miss a beat. Lastly, if you really want to know some examples, make sure to download that 2-page worksheet where I provide you with some really in-depth examples on how you can begin to practice those today. All right, until next time, I'm Bonnie Kelly.